I had a classmate that once told me that one time he slept in the bus and ended up getting lost in another city 2 hours away from where we lived. I remember thinking something like, "Ha, noob, you got lost in another city? That will never happen to me." And little did I know that a few years later, I would also get lost, just like him. Okay, so what happened? How did I get lost and ended up in another city? Let me set up the stage. It was a dark and rainy day. I don't remember when it was, but it was sometime around winter. And because of that, everything was dark. I mean, this is what it looked like. I don't see anything. Exactly. I was pretty tired, thinking of coming home and studying for the test I had the next day. Then the bus comes and I go in. And in the bus, I noticed the bus TV was broken. And I already knew this trip was going to be a disaster. Boo-hoo, I can't watch movies in the bus. No, this TV tells you at what bus station you are gonna arrive at. And because it's broken, I won't be able to tell. I had to look outside the window to see it. But when I would look outside, this is what I would see. At that time, the bus would use about 25 minutes driving from the school to my house. So I had to try and calculate the time used and look outside for clues about where I was. Now you might think that I would have used my phone for tracking time or my location, and that's definitely smart, but I didn't use it. I am new to this, alright? It's like my first time getting lost. I still have a lot to learn, like what to do, or how to know my whereabouts, or how to not get lost to begin with. And in the bus, I didn't want to stop it before it arrived at my bus station, or else I would have to walk the rest of the way. Now, if I wait for too long, I will probably arrive at a bus station that is far away from my home, which means I have to walk back. But I didn't really think of it back then, so I waited for a long time. Like a really long time. But after waiting for so long, I began thinking, I am lost, I'm definitely lost. And then finally, after like an hour, I decided to push the stop button. So now I had to wait for the bus to stop, then for me to find the way back home. But the bus kept driving for a really long time. Shouldn't the bus stop by now? I think it should. Apparently, the next bus stop was far away because after what felt like an eternity, the bus finally stopped. But by then I was in another city. I didn't know anybody in that city or what it even is called. The only food I had with me was already eaten in the lunch break at school. I had to find a bus to drive me back home as fast as possible. I found someone besides the bus station I stopped at and asked him about the next bus that will drive back to the city that I lived in. And he was like, yeah, that bus over there. That is driving away right now. Tough luck. Looking back, the timing was almost so perfect that it really was just so comical. But at that time, I was just like, this is it. I'm never going to find my way back home. Also, I'm gonna totally fail the test tomorrow. In the end, I did the only thing I could think of. I rang my dad. Hey dad, can you pick me up? Why? Where are you at? I am lost. I couldn't see the way. It's so dark outside. I didn't use the phone to help. Like, what's the point of even having a phone if I'm gonna count the minutes in my head? And my lunchbox is empty. It has been empty for like 5 hours. Please, Dad, come and pick me up. I'm not gonna make it here. Luckily, I sent my dad my position and he drove to the city I was in. In the meanwhile, I tried to read for the test I had the next day, but it was kinda difficult to read anything really. In the end, Dad picked me up and I went home sound and safe. So everything went fine in the end, and I lived my days happily ever after. Well, not really, but that's it for this video. Bye bye! Yay, finally finished with this video. You know, one thing I really appreciated about the bus I was in is that the seats were big and soft like a sofa, so that was super comfy to sit in. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, and if you didn't, just smash it anyway. And as always, take care.